The world watches with bated breath, tensions simmer across the globe. The spectre of a third world war, once a distant nightmare, now casts a long shadow over humanity. While predicting the future is impossible, the potential for a global conflict with its unimaginable consequences is a chilling reality we can no longer ignore. The world has witnessed two devastating world wars. These conflicts reshaped the geopolitical landscape, leaving behind a trail of unimaginable destruction and loss of life. The lessons learned from these wars, etched in history books, and the memories of generations serve as stark reminders of the fragility of peace. Today, a complex web of geopolitical tensions, ideological clashes, and technological advancements has created a tinderbox. The rise of new global powers, the resurgence of nationalism, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction all contribute to a volatile international order. In this powder keg, even a small spark could ignite a global conflagration. Understanding the potential triggers of World War III is not an academic exercise, but a matter of paramount importance for every nation and every individual. Multiple flashpoints across the globe have the potential to escalate into a wider conflict, each with its own unique set of circumstances and historical context. These hotspots are not just random occurrences, but are deeply rooted in long-standing geopolitical tensions and rivalries. Drawing in major powers and engulfing the world in a third world war, the stakes are incredibly high, and the consequences of such a conflict would be catastrophic, affecting not just the nations directly involved, but the entire global community. These potential triggers are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of deeper geopolitical fault lines. The world is more interconnected than ever before, and actions in one part of the globe can have ripple effects that are felt worldwide. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which has already caused immense suffering and displacement, is a prime example of how regional conflicts can have global implications. With Russia pitted against Ukraine and its Western allies, represents a significant risk. The involvement of NATO countries adds another layer of complexity and danger to the situation. Any direct military confrontation between Russia and NATO could quickly spiral out of control, leading to a broader conflict that could draw in other nations and escalate into a full-scale war, dragging the world into a war unlike any seen before. The potential for widespread devastation and loss of life is almost unimaginable, and the economic and social repercussions would be felt for generations. The Taiwan Strait is another potential flashpoint. The strategic importance of Taiwan, both economically and militarily, makes it a critical area of interest for multiple global powers. China views Taiwan as a breakaway province and has made it clear that it will not tolerate any moves towards formal independence. Any attempt by Taiwan to declare formal independence could provoke a military response from Beijing, leading to a conflict that could draw in other regional and global powers. Given the United States' commitment to Taiwan's defense, the situation becomes even more precarious. The US has long-standing security agreements with Taiwan and has indicated that it would come to Taiwan's aid in the event of a conflict. Such a conflict could easily escalate into a superpower confrontation. The Middle East, a region long plagued by conflict, remains a powder keg. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, fueled by decades of mistrust and violence, continues to be a significant source of instability. The potential for this conflict to draw in neighboring countries and escalate into a larger regional war is ever present. Could escalate into a regional war, particularly if it draws in Iran and its allies. Iran's influence in the region and its alliances with various non-state actors add another layer of complexity to the situation. The involvement of multiple actors with differing agendas makes the Middle East a highly volatile region where a single spark could ignite a widespread conflict, particularly if it draws in Iran and its allies. The interconnected nature of these conflicts means that a flare-up in one area can quickly spread to others, creating a domino effect of instability. These are just a few of the potential triggers for World War III. The world is a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and historical grievances, and it wouldn't take much for a localized conflict to escalate into a global catastrophe. The interconnected nature of global politics means that a conflict in one region can quickly spread, drawing in other actors and escalating beyond anyone's control. The importance of diplomacy, dialogue, and international cooperation cannot be overstated in these precarious times. drawing in other actors and escalating beyond anyone's control. The stakes are incredibly high, and the need for proactive measures to prevent such conflicts has never been more urgent. The global stage is set with major powers vying for influence, each maneuvering to secure their interests and expand their reach. Alliances are forming and shifting, creating a complex web of relationships that can either stabilize or destabilize the world order. Understanding the motivations and capabilities of these key players is crucial to comprehending the dynamics of a potential World War III. Each nation has its own strategic goals, historical grievances, and security concerns that drive their actions on the global stage. The United States, despite its stated commitment to global peace and stability, remains a military superpower with a vested interest in maintaining its global hegemony. Its military budget far exceeds that of any other nation, allowing it to project power across the globe. Its network of alliances, including NATO and partnerships in the Asia-Pacific, could drag it into a conflict, even if it doesn't directly initiate hostilities. The US also maintains a significant presence in key regions, from Europe to the Middle East, ensuring its influence is felt worldwide. China, with its rapidly growing economic and military might, is challenging the existing world order. Its Belt and Road Initiative aims to expand its influence through infrastructure investments and economic partnerships across Asia, Africa, and Europe. Its assertive stance in the South China Sea and its ambitions towards Taiwan make it a central player in any potential global conflict. China's military modernization efforts, including advancements in cyber warfare and space capabilities, further enhance its strategic position. Russia, under the leadership of Vladimir Putin, has shown a willingness to use military force to achieve its geopolitical objectives. Its actions in Ukraine and Syria demonstrate its readiness to intervene militarily to protect its interests and expand its influence. Its actions in Ukraine and its nuclear arsenal make it a formidable force, capable of both escalating and shaping a global conflict. Russia's strategic partnerships, particularly with China and Iran, also play a crucial role in its global strategy. Beyond these major powers, other actors like Iran, North Korea, and non-state actors like terrorist organizations add further layers of complexity to the global security landscape. Iran's regional ambitions and its nuclear program continue to be a source of tension in the Middle East. Their actions, often unpredictable and driven by their own agendas, could have significant ripple effects. North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons and its provocative missile tests pose a constant threat to regional stability. Meanwhile, terrorist organizations exploit instability and conflict to further their own goals, often with devastating consequences. The outbreak of World War III would be an unprecedented catastrophe with far-reaching consequences that would fundamentally reshape the world as we know it. The scale of destruction and the speed at which it could unfold are almost beyond comprehension. Unlike previous global conflicts, the technological advancements and the interconnected nature of our modern world would amplify the devastation to unimaginable levels. While the exact nature of such a war is impossible to predict, certain scenarios, all equally devastating, can be envisioned. Cities could be reduced to rubble, and the human cost would be staggering. The psychological impact on survivors would be profound, leaving scars that could last for generations. Modern warfare, characterized by advanced technology and interconnected systems, would likely involve cyber attacks, drone warfare, and other forms of high-tech combat. These methods of warfare would not only target military installations, but also civilian infrastructure, causing widespread disruption and chaos. Artificial intelligence would play a significant role, blurring the lines between the virtual and real battlefields. Autonomous weapons systems could make decisions without human intervention, raising ethical and moral questions about the future of warfare. Civilian infrastructure, including communication networks, power grids, and financial systems, would become prime targets, crippling societies and sowing chaos. The loss of these essential services would lead to a breakdown in social order, making recovery efforts even more challenging. The financial systems in particular would be vulnerable. A targeted attack on financial institutions could lead to a collapse of the global economy, causing panic and uncertainty. People would struggle to access their money, leading to a loss of trust in the financial system. The use of nuclear weapons, once unthinkable, remains a terrifying possibility. The sheer destructive power of these weapons could obliterate entire cities in an instant, leaving nothing but devastation in their wake. Even a limited nuclear exchange would have devastating consequences, resulting in widespread destruction, radioactive fallout, and long-term environmental damage. The impact on human health and the environment would be catastrophic, with lasting effects that could span decades. The concept of mutually assured destruction, while intended to prevent such an outcome, could unravel in the heat of conflict. Miscommunication or miscalculation could lead to an escalation that neither side intended, with disastrous consequences. The global economy, already grappling with interconnectedness, would be thrown into disarray. Supply chains would collapse, leading to shortages of essential goods and services. The disruption to trade would have a ripple effect, impacting economies around the world. Trade would grind to a halt, affecting everything from food supplies to medical equipment. The inability to move goods across borders would exacerbate the crisis, leading to further economic instability. Financial markets would plunge into chaos, with stock markets crashing and investors panicking. The loss of confidence in the financial system could lead to a prolonged economic depression, with far-reaching consequences for individuals and businesses alike. The resulting economic depression would likely surpass anything witnessed before, pushing millions into poverty and triggering widespread social unrest. The social fabric of nations would be tested as people struggle to cope with the new reality. The long-term recovery from such a conflict would be a monumental task, requiring unprecedented levels of cooperation and resilience.